Hey! Okay, I am so excited for our LIIFT 4 challenge group. So I want to talk to you about how to get started, and I am such a talker, and I feel like video is just a lot easier than reading a whole bunch of text. So I'm about to share my screen with you, and I'm going to go through the steps to prepare us to get started for Monday. Okay, the first thing that I need you to do is go to beachbodyondemand.com if you're using your computer, or you can download the Beachbody On Demand app. It looks like this, and when you click on it, it'll pull up Beachbody On Demand. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see the Beachbody On Demand site, and I'm going to kind of navigate where we need to go. So sharing my screen. See if this, here we go. All right, so hopefully you guys can see me still. So when you log into Beachbody On Demand, you'll have to, log in with your username and password. That's your username is going to be the same email that you set up with enrollment. And if you don't know your password, there's like a forgot password thing, so you can use that. So after you log in, this is actually is going to look more like, this one. This is what you'll see. And you're going to scroll until you see the LIIFT 4. And listen, if you're doing a different program, that's totally fine. You can scroll until you find whatever program you're doing, right? So you're going to click on the program that you're doing. And, oh yeah, I opened it on the second page because my internet's so slow. So I opened it before I started this video. So what you're going to see here, the first thing that'll pop up is your workout list. So the first thing I want you to do, the first things, plural, are watch these videos here. There's a 2-minute, a 2-minute, and a 7-minute. So what is that, 11 minutes? Quick math there. There's 11 minutes of kind of prep videos. I think it's really important to get your mind right and understand how this program was designed, right? So that's the first thing to do. Now, I'm going to kind of skip for a minute. Once we're ready to start, so on Monday, you will click on week 1. And then here are your workouts. You can see right here how long your workout will be. So for example, day 1 is 39 minutes. See this little dumbbell type thing? If you click on that, it'll tell you what workout equipment you need. So that's kind of good if you want to know, like the night before, if you want to set out your stuff. Also, if you're doing this from your phone or an iPad, and if you're like me, we have metered internet at home, or internet at home is really bad, but at work I have good internet. So I can sometimes, well, I can always, it's just remembering, you can download the workouts to your phone or to your iPad while you're on good Wi-Fi. And then that way you don't use any data when you're at home. That's just something that I do because I live in the country. I don't know if anybody else has that problem, okay? So at any rate, this is what it'll be when you do your actual workouts, right? So 4 days in 1 week. I'm just so excited to not work out every single day. I'm so excited for 4 days a week. It's going to be glorious. Okay, so that's when we're actually starting. So for today, I want you to watch these videos, and then you'll click on Program Materials. Listen, for some reason, somebody in every group skips this. I am begging you not to skip this, okay? This is so important. The first thing is your calendar. There are 4 PDFs here. There's not a lot. It's not overwhelming. And one of them is a vegan nutrition plan. So if you're not vegan, you're not even paying attention to that. So there's 3 PDFs. I want you to download and view, and if you have a printer, print all of them. If you've got a challenge pack with the printed material in it, then you already have the calendar, and I believe it came with the weight progression tracker. But these are really, really important, and the most important, in my opinion, is the nutrition guide. I really want you to open that PDF and look at it fully, okay? It's a few pages long. And you guys know how to set your printer settings so that you don't have to print, like, even though this is a good looking dude right there, but you don't have to print like this full color picture of him, right? You can just start on page 2 or 3 or whatever works for you. So tracking your progress and doing your measurements is so important. And what is equally as important is taking before photos. I'm telling you, these suck, and I know they suck, and nobody wants to look at them, and they make you feel like crap about yourself. And I get it. Trust me, I get it. But one, you'll never hopefully be in the place that you are right now. If you don't like the place where your body is, you'll never be in this place again. So how would you ever be able to track your body progression and changes if you don't take pictures, right? One of the things that I regret the most is not taking a whole bunch of before pictures, because now that I see how far I've come, I'm like, I have to compare it to the same picture over and over and over again. Whereas if I had taken more before photos, I would have more things to compare it to. So just trust me. I will also tell you, I'm going to make myself big. I don't know if you guys can see me here, but let me see, pause share. I think you can see me bigger now. I don't know. But I will also tell you that you do not need somebody else to take your before photos. This was something that I always got hung up on too. I was like, well, I don't really want my husband to see my before photos, or he's not, here right now or whatever. You don't need somebody else. You can do it a couple ways. One, you can set your phone up to have the timer when you take pictures. So I'm sure you guys know this, but this little thing right here, this little dot, you can set it to be either a 3-second or a 10-second. Set your phone up and set it to take a picture on your timer. The other thing is you can set it as a video. And this is what I do. I prop my phone up on something, I start the video, and then I go and stand, and I kind of stand forward, stand to the side, stand, cockeyed, stand backward, stand in 1,000 different places. And then on the playback of the video, I screenshot the pictures. So you're taking before pictures without any single other person having to see them, okay? So that is so important. I'm going to resume my screen sharing. See if I can make myself little again. All right. The next part is to find your nutrition plan. So read this. You guys are all adults. You know how to read. But finding your plan is really important in determining what bracket you're in. I don't know why it's so tiny. Probably because my internet is poor. But see how it says your current weight, 168 pounds or less, you're in plan A. This weight, you're in plan B. This weight, you're in plan C. It's really straightforward. You don't have to do any calculations. Get on a scale, see what your weight is. This is your plan. If you've never done a program like this before, the first thing you're going to think is, holy crap, that's a lot of food. And the second thing you're going to think is, this is complicated. It's really not complicated. In this email that I've sent you with this video, if you got in an email, some of you will probably message it to. Pause share. In this email, you will also get, and if you didn't, ask me and I'll send it to you separate. You'll also get a link to some meal plans that I've made out using plan A, and you can adjust it to be whatever plan you're in. And it will show, I'll show you, it's really not as difficult as you think it is. I always suggest, if you've done this with me before, you've heard me say this a zillion times, this is how I suggest doing it. Always start with Shakeology, and I usually throw some spinach or something in there because I never meet all my greens. So my breakfast is Shakeology and a green, and if I want to throw in a fruit, half a banana or something like that, then I have a purple, right? So that's my first meal every single day. That's easy. Then I go to dinner. I skip everything throughout the middle of the day. I go to dinner and I plan whatever I want for dinner. I am not the type of person that eats the same thing every single day. If you like to do that, then do that. That's great. That just doesn't work for me. And Alan would kill me, my husband. So I do something different every day. Say maybe I'm going to have tacos one night. Well, I know that's going to be a red for my meat, a yellow for my taco shell, a green for my onions and peppers and salsa. And I think salsa is really a purple. And a blue for my cheese, right? If you don't know these colors, don't worry. They'll become second nature to you. So once I have that, I see what other colors and containers I have for the rest of the day, and I fill in lunch and snacks. Maybe I have a green, so I'll have some sliced cucumbers or some carrots or some celery. Maybe I have some purple, so I'll have an apple. Maybe I have, another couple reds. I'll make that my lunch. The other thing that I do, and this just works for me, is my leftovers from dinner, I always make that the next day's lunch. So I always have my breakfast as my Shakeology, I make my dinners, and then I already have my lunches because it's my leftovers from my dinner. I personally don't mind eating the same thing twice, dinner and then leftovers, but I personally don't like to eat it more than that just because I get bored. Again, if you can eat the same thing every single day, Awesome. And also, too, if you know, for example, say Wednesday nights are always a really late night for you, and you know that you're going to come home and you're not going to have time to cook, well, then you know to make that evening meal something light. Maybe you just make a salad, or maybe you just have chips and salsa, and that's your yellow and purple. Fill in the rest of the day with all of your good stuff. Whatever it is, whatever works for you, you make it work for you, right? So this is why this plan is so doable. All right, I'm going to resume my share, make me little again. Okay. Performance and supplements. So this is kind of the amount that you're allowed to have based on each plan. Energize and Recover are my life. I absolutely love them, especially Energize. So you can have those on days that you're working out. So read the food list. Again, you guys are adults. You can do all this on your own. If you're really, really hungry, it says this here, and this is really important. If you're really hungry, you can add a protein, add a red. If it says if you're feeling really, really run down, try bumping up a plan, but add a protein. You can also, I always say that you can always add a green too. So if you feel like adding a vegetable, go for it. But if you're hungry, red and green, don't start adding those yellows. And then here are sample menu plans right here. I mean, it's really, really, really simple. And that goes through all of it. So I'm going to let you guys read it. The next parts are like the food lists and stuff. Okay, so those are kind of the first things I'd like you to do when you log into Beachbody On Demand. The next thing I want you to do is download the My Challenge Tracker app. So you'll get an email if you haven't already got one saying, Danielle has invited you to a challenge tracker or to a challenge. And it will look like this right here, this little guy. And you have to be invited to it by a coach. So if it says, you haven't been invited to anything, just reach out to me. That just means that maybe I typed your email wrong. So let me know if, you haven't been listed as invited, but you should be listed on there, and it'll pull up and it'll ask you a bunch of questions. What's your starting weight? Enter your before pictures, do everything that you're comfortable with. And that's pretty self-explanatory. That will be where you log your workouts. That'll be where you log your workouts and your Shakeology every day, okay? And there will also be like a little post from me every day that you can respond to, and we'll chat on each other's posts. So that's the Challenge Tracker app. I know I'm giving you a lot of information. I just want to show you one other thing that I think will be so useful. So I'm going to reshare my screen. And these are I forget where they put them now. They just changed everything around. These are recipes and things that I'm telling you, they're the way to go. So you go to all programs. It might be under the nutrition tab. I cannot remember. I'm going to go A to Z, but it's under Fixate, okay? So what Fixate is, Autumn Calabrese, who's the creator of a bunch of other programs, see how slow my internet is, she and her brother's a chef, and they've created all of these recipes, like hundreds, and they did little baby Food Network videos, and they're like 4 minutes each, and they are different recipes based on the containers. So, and it tells you like this recipe is a red and a yellow and a green. This one's a purple and a blue and whatever. So it tells you what each recipe is, and it has it sorted out by breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner, and even desserts. So you'll go to Fixate. I don't know why it hates me, but click on Fixate, and you'll see all of those there. It's Fixate. If you sort of A to Z, you can click on it. Also, under the program materials, you will be able to see a PDF. So if you're like me and don't have great internet and don't want to download the videos, or maybe you just don't like to watch a whole bunch of videos, you can click on the PDF of it, and it will give you all the recipes and the instructions there. So I highly recommend looking through that, because there are so many recipe options, so many ideas that you would have never thought of. Okay, so we've talked about getting onto Beachbody On Demand, watching those LIIFT4, B4 videos, the intro to LIIFT4, getting your program materials of LIIFT4, getting on your challenge tracker app, and going through Fixate and finding some recipes. I'd like you to meal plan. Planning the meals are easy. We just kind of went over how to do it real quick. I will send you an example so you can use that as yours. Reach out to me if you have any questions about it, and we will chat about meal prepping in another video. All right, bye everybody. Maybe. I'm not great at technology. Pause. Stop. Stop video. Stop video. Okay, bye.